He found her in the middle of a violent storm, cold, broken, barely alive. He thought he saved her. But what if? She was never running from the storm. She was running from something far more powerful. And the night she walked into his world was the same night that danger followed her to his door. Knock. 3 strangers. A secret that could destroy everything. And a choice. Her. Or lose her forever. Because some love stories are not about finding someone. They are about fighting the past that refuses to let them go. Stay till the end. This storm hides a truth you will never see coming. Before we dive into the incredible story, do not forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell button so you never miss our powerful, life-changing content. Thank you for listening to this heartfelt story. If it moved you, share it, comments below, and let someone know you are never alone. The rain came down like judgment. Dark, cold, endless. My car cut through the darkness, headlights trembling against the storm, as if even light feared the night. Had everything, power, wealth, a name people whispered with respect. And yet, nothing waited for me at home, except silence. Shape, will, collapsed near the roadside. My breath caught. For a second, the world narrowed, to the sound of rain hitting metal, and my own pulse, pounding louder than thunder. I stepped out. Wind clawed at my coat. Rain soaked through in seconds. She lay there, shivering, barely conscious. Her fingers clutched the mud, as if the earth itself was the only thing keeping her here. Stay with me, I said, though my voice felt foreign. Her eyes opened, terrified, and strangely calm. That look, it shook something in me I had buried for years. I carried her. She was light, yet the weight of that moment pressed deeper than anything I had ever held. Inside the car, the storm faded to a distant roar. But inside me, something had begun. Days passed. She stayed, quiet at first, careful, as if life had taught her that peace never lasts. And I watched the way she held a cup of tea, like it was warmth itself, the way she smiled at the smallest kindness, as if it was a miracle. You live alone? She asked one evening. He nodded. The truth felt heavier than usual. I built everything, I said, and still, it feels empty. She looked at me, not with pity, with understanding, the kind that sees pain, without asking questions. Then she reached out, just a simple touch, but it stopped time. You are not empty, she whispered. You are just waiting. Something inside me broke, or healed, could not tell which. Outside, the storm had long passed, but inside, another one was rising, stronger, deeper, because for the first time in years, I feared losing something that truly mattered, because for the first time in years, I feared losing something that truly mattered. The nights grew quieter, not empty, just different. She moved through my home, like warmth learning the shape of cold walls. Soft footsteps, gentle breaths, a presence that asked for nothing, yet gave everything. And still, something lingered, unspoken. One evening, the sky turned restless again, wind pressing against the windows, like a memory refusing to stay buried. She stood there, looking out, frozen. Her fingers trembled, not from cold, from recognition. What is it? I asked, too softly, too late. Her breath hitched, the same way it had that night I found her. They will find me, she whispered. The words landed like thunder inside my chest. A silence followed, heavy, unforgiving. Who? I stepped closer. She shook her head. Tears now. Not loud, not dramatic, just breaking. I ran, she said. Through storms, through darkness, through everything I had left behind. Her voice cracked. And somehow, I reached you, reached me, as if I was not just a man, but a destination. The storm outside grew louder, violent now, demanding, and suddenly, headlights, cutting through the rain, topping, right outside my gate. My pulse spiked. Dark. Instant. She saw them too. And in that moment, the calm she had brought into my world began to shatter. They are here. 3 words. Enough to change everything. I turned to her, every instinct screaming. To protect. Fight. Keep this fragile, beautiful thing from slipping away. Stay behind me, I said. Firm. Certain. Even as uncertainty clawed inside me. Not. Heavy. Deliberate. Not a request. A warning. The kind that carries power and expects obedience. She reached for my hand, tightly, as if letting go meant losing the only safe place she had ever known. And in her grip, felt it again, a shift, that undeniable truth. This was no longer just a storm outside. This was a past, arriving at my door, and I had no intention of letting it take her back. Another knock, louder, closer, final. I stepped forward, heart steady now, not from calm, but from purpose. And as my hand reached for the door, the world seemed to hold its breath. Rain hammered harder, as if urging me. Turn back. Opened it. Slowly. 3 men stood there. Dark coats, colder eyes, the kind of presence that carried history and left damage behind. She is with you, one of them said. Not a question. Claim. I felt her grip tighten. Behind me. Shaking, yet refusing to let go. She stays, I replied. My voice surprised even me. Unyielding. A flicker of amusement crossed his face. You do not understand what she is running from. Lightning split the sky. For a second, their faces became clearer. Hard lines. No mercy. I understand enough, I said. Another step forward. Closer now. Danger breathing between us. She belongs to something far bigger than you. Belongs. The word burned. She belongs to herself. Silence. Dark. Behind me. Her breath grew uneven. Memories pressing in. Fear returning. One of the men moved. Just slightly. Enough. My body reacted. Before thought. Blocking the space. Drawing a line that had never existed before tonight. Move, he said. Simple. Deadly. It did not. The storm roared. Wind forcing its way inside. Wrapping around us. Like a witness to what came next. Her voice. But steady. Wait. Everything paused. Even the rain seemed to hesitate. She stepped forward. From behind me. Into the light. Into them. Into whatever past had chased her this far. Her hand slipped from mine. And the absence felt like falling. I am done running, she said. No tremble now. No fear. Only truth. The men exchanged glances. Something shifted. Unseen. Unspoken. You cannot walk away. One replied. But she stood taller. Stronger. I already did. Lightning again. Thunder crashing closer. And in that moment, I saw it. Not the frightened woman I had carried through the storm, but someone forged by it, changed by it, refusing to break again. Step forward. One of them reached. Fast. Too fast. My pulse surged. Everything narrowed. To that single movement. To her. To the space between them. To the choice. That would change everything. And my hand moved. Without hesitation. And my hand moved. Without hesitation. Caught his wrist. Hard. The impact echoed louder than thunder. For a second, no one breathed. Rain spilled past the doorway. Cold against my skin. But the heat in my chest burned fiercer. You touch her. You answer to me, I said. Whoa. Steady. His eyes met mine. Calculating. He smiled. Not kindness. Not respect. Recognition. So the lonely man finally found something worth losing. The words struck deeper than they should, because they were true. Behind me, she stepped closer again. Not hiding. Not retreating. standing beside me. Her shoulder brushed mine, but yet unshakable. "I am not going back," she said. Clear, certain. The storm howled louder, as if the world itself argued with her. Another man moved, slow this time, reaching into his coat. My senses sharpened, every sound stretched, every second heavy. "Careful," I warned. But he only pulled out a folded paper, worn, weathered. He held it out. "To you," he said. "To both of you." I did not take it. She did. Her fingers trembled as she opened it. The silence that followed was worse than any noise. Her eyes scanned the page. Once, something changed. Color drained. Breath caught. "What is it?" Yes. Too quickly. Too late again. She looked at me. Not with fear. Not with pain. With something deeper. Something that felt like goodbye. Trying to hide inside truth. "They were never chasing me," she whispered. The storm seemed to pause. Even the men waited. "They were protecting me." The words fell apart as they left her lips. Nothing made sense. Not the fear. Not the running. Not the way she clung to me. Like I was safety. From what? Yes. My voice quieter now. Dangerously so. Her gaze drifted past me. Into the storm. Into the darkness. Beyond the gate. Where headlights still burned. Through the rain. Steady. Waiting. Watching. A low engine hum. Cut through the storm. Different. Heavier. Not the restless growl of the men at my door. Something controlled. Her fingers tightened around the paper, crushing its edges, as if truth itself was too sharp to hold. "From him," she said. Barely a breath, but enough. The air shifted. The men stepped aside. Not in fear, in respect. That alone told me everything had just changed. Car door opened. Low. Deliberate. Each second stretching. Like a warning drawn tight. My pulse echoed. In my ears. Loud. Relentless. A figure stepped out. Unshaken by the storm. As if the rain knew better than to touch him. He walked forward. Not rushing. Never rushing. Power never needs to. She moved closer to me again. Not out of weakness. Out of instinct. And that meant danger. "Stay here," I said. But she shook her head. "No," she whispered. "This is where it ends, or begins." Or begins. The words lingered, like lightning waiting to strike. He stopped at the gate. Did not enter. Did not need to. Presence alone filled the space between us. "Enough running," he said. His voice. To come. The kind that carries consequences inside it. Her breath faltered. Felt it. Even without touching her. "You took everything from me," she replied. Not loud. Not weak. True. A flicker in his eyes. Gone in a second. "I gave you everything," he corrected. The difference. Cut deeper than any blade. The storm surged again. Wind forcing the gate open. With a violent clang. Now there was nothing between us. No barrier. No distance. Just truth. Standing face to face. My body tensed. Every instinct ready. Every nerve alive. "You should leave," I said. Not a request. A line drawn in the storm. His gaze shifted to me. Measured. Curious. As if noticing me. For the first time. "And you are?" he asked. Simple question. Heavy with meaning. I did not look away. "The man who stands between you and her." Silence. Step forward. The rain seemed to follow him. Obey him. And in that moment, understood. This was no past. Returning gently. This was something that never truly left. Her hand found mine again. Cold, yet certain. And as his shadow crossed the threshold, the warmth inside the house seemed to retreat. Lights flickered. Once. Then steadied. As if even they feared failing now. He stepped in. Low. Measured. Each footfall quiet. yet heavy enough to press against my chest. Rain clung to his coat, but nothing about him looked disturbed, not a breath out of place, not a glance wasted, only focus. Her. You look stronger, he said. Not praise. Assessment. Her grip on my hand tightened. Pain flickered across her face. Quick, but real. Strength grows when fear loses its voice, she answered. Was in dark, like the edge of something, waiting to cut. His eyes softened, just slightly, and that felt more dangerous than anger. You always had a way with words, he murmured. Another step. Closer now. Too close. My body shifted instinctively, placing myself between them. He noticed. Of course he did. A faint smile touched his lips. You believe you can protect her, he said. Not mocking. Certain. I know I can, I replied. No hesitation. No doubt. Because somewhere between that stormy night and this moment, she had become the one thing I would never let break. Silence spread again. Unforgiving. He reached into his coat. Slower this time. Deliberate. Not a threat. Reveal. My muscles tensed anyway. Ready. Always ready. He pulled out a small object. Metal. Dull in the light. Worn. But important. Felt it. Before I understood it. Her breath shattered beside me. No, she whispered. A single step forward. Uncontrolled. As if something inside her had been pulled. Drawn out. You remember, he said softly. And suddenly, the room changed. Not the walls. Not the light. The meaning. Everything we stood in. No longer felt like mine. Or hers. But his. This was never about running, he continued. It was about returning. Returning. The word echoed. Too deeply. Her fingers slipped from mine. Not by choice. By force of memory. Of truth. Of something I had never been part of. What does it open? Asked. My voice tighter now. Careful. Because the answer felt like it could take her somewhere I could not follow. He looked at me. Finally. Fully. And in his eyes, there was no storm. Only certainty. It opens what she left behind, he said. Step closer. Extending the key toward her. And what she still belongs to. The air thinned. Her hand trembled. As it slowly lifted. Drawn toward that key. Like fate refusing to be denied. And in that fragile, breaking moment, I realized this was the true storm. Not the night I found her, but the truth that could take her away. Her fingers brushed the metal, and everything inside me surged forward. Once, her fingers brushed the metal, and everything inside me surged forward. Once, wait, my voice broke through the moment, not loud, but real. She froze. Between us, between two worlds, the key trembled in her hand. Its cold weight pulling her backward, into a past that demanded ownership. I stepped closer, not to take her away, not to fight, but to remind. You came through a storm, I said softly. You found something here, something real. Her eyes met mine, tears rising, not from fear, but from truth finally surfacing. You were never something to be owned, I continued. Not by him. Not by your past. Not even by me. Silence. Sacred. The man watched. Certain. As if he believed. This story had already been written. She was changing it. Her fingers tightened. Slowly. She lowered the key. A breath left her lips. Shaking. Freeing. I remember everything, she said. And I choose differently. The words landed. Like the end of a storm, not sudden, but earned. The man's expression shifted. Not anger, not defeat, understanding, quiet nod, as if even he knew. Some things cannot be taken back, only released. He stepped away. No fight, no force, just acceptance. Carried into the rain. The door remained open, But the storm outside felt distant now, fading. She turned to me. No fear left, only strength, and something softer, something steady. I was running from pain, she whispered. But I found peace. Her hand reached for mine again, this time, not out of need, out of choice. And that made all the difference. Held it, gently, certain. 'Cause love, oh love, does not rescue to possess. Stands beside, understands, lets go, so the other person can truly stay. Inside, the storm finally rested. And inside, so did we. Not because the world changed, but because we did. And maybe that is the quiet truth. We all learn sooner or later that no past is stronger than a heart that chooses its own future. And no love is greater than the one that sets you free.